Welcome to Heartworm, a game I found on itch.io. It looked interesting. We're just gonna get right into it. No rambling. Alright, move the mouse cursor out of the way at least. Unless I need it. So it seems to be a PlayStation style retro. Let's see. Tab for inventory. Tap. Just hit everything. Mouse cursor's gone now. Or never mind. It's not locked. I don't think we'll need it though. What is the use key though? Enter key. I'm not hungry. Or spacebar. Spacebar's loud though. Fuck that. You want to hear a ramble? You want to hear me rant? I hate when people or companies, mostly companies, I hate when companies make keyboards and they all like show you, well, look at these keys. They're like RGB red, they're cherry red, they're cherry like brown. And there are these different qualities and different generations of fucking, keyboard keylet keys or whatever. It's just a lot of cherry variants. And the spacebar, I swear to fucking God, is always left obnoxiously shitty. The spacebar is the only one that gets like the shittiest fucking keystroke every single time. It gets the loudest, the most obnoxious cherry that you could ever find on a keyboard. All the other ones might be like the most advanced, fucking keystroke shit ever. The spacebar is left just fucking stupidly flawed. It's so annoying. The keyboard spacebar is used so much, and yet it is the most inferior. Why? Why is it always different? I don't get it. But anyways, what's on the TV? Almost just said T. What's on the T? My TV and VCR. I don't really feel like watching anything right now. Got dirty ass fucking windows. Unless this is like the feel we're going for. Clinician's evaluation. Sam redacted. 23-year-old female, average height, weight, no relevant medical history. Patient reported insomnia, recurring intrusive thoughts related to self-harm and harm to others, low self-esteem, obsessive tendencies, episodes of panic attacks, and high baseline anxiety. So you're typical millennial. Gotcha. Patient described these symptoms as chronic and varying in severity, possibly related to traumatic events from childhood. Patients also mentioned social relationships suffering as a result of symptoms. Observation. Preliminary labs returned normal, heart rate and blood pressure elevated. Patient avoided eye contact and appeared anxious. She only spoke when queried. Patient appeared detached, preoccupied with thoughts. Assessment. The following diagnoses are based on currently available information and may change as additional information becomes available. Post-traumatic stress disorder. Obsessive-compulsive disorder, anxiety disorder, unspecified major depressive disorder, recurrent moderate panic disorder, generalized anxiety disorder. Need to gather more information. Patient referred to psychiatrist for further evaluation and urged to follow up at clinic in 7 days. Patient encouraged to research exposure therapy. Oh. That's normal. Wait, you're saying my bed is right next to the front door? That's questionable. I don't need to use the bathroom. Okay. I picked up the VHS tape. Can we... I haven't left the apartment in a week. That's not going to change now. So just like your other millennials, jobless. I joke, but it is a reoccurring stereotype. Like, how can you just be a grown adult and just, like, not go anywhere and not need to work for a week? I don't know, man. Unless you're a work-at-home person like I'm trying to be with YouTube, then yeah, you have an ability to not need to go anywhere except stay in your room and become a hermit, which just sounds like... This sounds amazing to me, honestly. I'd be fine with being a hermit. Like, seriously. I am basically already a hermit. I put the tape in. Let's see what's on it. The only time I go outside, honestly, is to go fucking grocery shopping. No, and obviously to work, my other part-time job. If I didn't need my other part-time job, I'd never need to go outside, beside groceries. So, I don't know. What, it's gonna be like The Ring? Come on, TV, turn on already. Oh. We went into the TV world. Do you remember? Nope, clearly not. The doors are locked. The car looks so familiar. What's going on? A flashback of sorts? I like the camera angles. Interesting. It's locked from the other side. How would you know if it's locked from the other side? Actually, well... I mean, it implies it's locked from the other side, but I mean, if a door is locked, the door is locked on both sides. You have to unlock it from one side no matter what. That's how doors work. So I don't get the whole, it's locked from the other side. Video game-wise, it's to imply that you can unlock it if you go on the other side. But at the same time, doors just work where if you lock it on one end, it locks the entire door. So it's kind of annoying. Anyway, the opening is too small to... Bullshit. Look. You're not that. You're not fat. You could go on your back or stomach and crawl. Fuck off with that bullshit. Especially, this girl is thin as fuck. Or fit as fuck. She'd be able to crawl under there. Don't give me that shit. Hatch. The door won't budge. Why isn't it locked on the other side? I'm not nitpicking the game, mind you. It's just a stereotype I see. A chain padlock wrapped around the handle. It's just a stereotype I'm sort of seeing a lot in horror games where they just say, it's locked on the other side. Or, it's just locked. It's never just one. It has to be both. If you can get to the other side of a locked door, you should be able to unlock it. Okay, push this then. Come on. The wall is covered. The wall is covered in deep scratches. The other thing I notice is when I hit the enter key to make it so the text goes faster, it just erases it. There should be, like, usually in games, and people probably would understand what I'm coming from, if this text, if you hit enter before it's finished, it should conclude the sentence and then hit enter again to make it go away. In this, it's just, there is no stop gap in the middle. It's just, you hit it, it's gone. You have to wait for it to fully, slowly go. I've never seen a game do that. Even all RPGs like Final Fantasy VII allows that and all that shit. But whatever, we'll just have to get used to letting the message slowly go across. Okay, so let's unlock the door. Yeah, okay, thank you. A handful of non-fiction novels. Nothing particularly interesting. Anything I'm missing? I know I can move this, but the game's not letting me. I picked up the key. Hallucinations as a trauma-based memory. Implications for psychological interventions. Oh, jeez. Routine information processing involves a process called contextual integration, whereby detailed encoding of incoming stimuli takes place, which facilitates lighter memory recall. For example, being able to remember who was at your birthday by recalling a full contextual image of the event, also being able to remember what happened before and after a specific event due to the integration of relevant temporal information. However, during a traumatic event, the need for a quick behavioral response requires rapid information processing. This is achieved through a temporary decrease in contextual integration and a quick response based on basic perceptual processing. The shit I learned in university, but goddamn. The provision of a rapid response to danger has a consequence of vulnerability due to experiencing intrusive memories of the stressful event at the future date. The contextual processing of the trauma stimuli makes it difficult to recall all the voluntary basis due to the lack of integration with cues which normally facilitate recall. However, the information is typically triggered involuntarily by stimuli which have a perceptual match to some aspect of the traumatic event, a sound or visual stimuli that invokes memory of the event. Therefore, within these theories, reduced levels of contextual integration are considered central To the development of trauma-related intrusive memories, therefore, the intrusions may be maintained through a number of cognitive and behavioral processes, such as avoidance, in order to develop a presentation of PTSD. However, in order to be diagnosed with PTSD, the individual or their clinician is likely to be confident that the intrusions are in fact memories of a stressful event. A number of pages are destroyed. In how many? However, therefore, thereafter, in summary. This is a strange way to begin every sentence, but yes. In summary, the relationship between hearing voices, seeing visions, and traumatic events continues to intrigue in clinical researchers. However, a full theoretical understanding remains elusive. The subgroup of voices and visions which are directly linked to stressful events are likely to be responsive to interventions which are based on a well-developed theoretical understanding of reactions to trauma. Holy fucking shit. That's a lot of shit to read. God damn. I need some coffee. Alright, so... missing book, huh? More books than I would know what to do with. One of them is missing. Gee whiz. The requisite creepy painting in the weird old house. No surprises here. Not to mention, of course, the missing book that's likely a trigger to opening a secret door, such as possibly the fridge that has scratch marks for some reason. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Also the stairs are completely blocked off. Oh, hey, that's an interesting animation for walking backwards. They're actually looking behind their shoulders. You don't normally see that. Usually they just sort of slowly back up without looking behind them, which technically would mean characters that do that, like in Resident Evil, who just, back up without looking backwards, they could legitimately trip on a, fucking pencil on the floor. But this character's animation, they're looking behind them and walking backwards slowly. I like that attention to detail. A handful of done, also here. Alright, let's check the TV. It's probably what we need to do. Won't turn off. There's no tape in it. Alright, then let's check outside with the padlock. No? Isn't the door here? No, wait, sorry, it's over here. How do I move this? Wait, what? How do I use that key? Wait. Oh, I can use the mouse for the... Okay. What? Oh, wait, garage. Ugh. Okay. Well, that's not the garage then, now is it? Let's go around. Yeah. Oh, wait. Garage. Herb derp. I was thinking it was on the other side of the house for some reason. Alright, so we use that, or is there a door on the side? Or a door... Nope. Nope. Can we? Oh, there's a door right here. I unlocked it. Alright. Looks like aforementioned red book. Good camera angles, very smartly used. Strange that we can see the lighting under the walls. Like right here. You can see lighting from... Oh. Ah. I flipped the switch. Ah. I see. Oh god, this better not be a long read. Narcissus and Goldmund. Hermann Hesse. Or Hesse? And is that the soundtrack or just weird noises? He thought that all men trickled away, changing constantly until they finally dissolved. While the artist-created images remained unchangeably the same, he thought that the fear of death was perhaps the root of all art, perhaps also all things of the mind. That reminds me, the fear of death. You guys, if you like reading books, I recommend The Denial of Death by Ernest Becker. Very good book. It's the only book I recommend, because it's like one of the only books I've read. We fear death, we shudder at life's instability, we grieve to see the flowers wilt again, and the leaves fall, and in our hearts we know that we, too, are transitory, and will search for laws and formulate thoughts. It is in order to salvage something from the great dance of death, to make something that lasts longer than... Okay, the developers had to have read The Denial of Death. This is like straight from even this like a quick summary of the book. But in the book it talks about the human immortality complex, or I can't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, the kaze. I'd have to look it up. Wait, let me do that even. Because I've always been pronouncing that fucking word wrong. Like, it's kaze. Sui? How do you pronounce it? I'm gonna have to type in, like, how to pronounce, just so I get it right. 'Cause I'm probably pronouncing it fucking weird.
Kaze denotes something which is generated.
Okay, that sounded fucking horrible. Alright, let's try howtopronounce.com. Or wait, is it
Kausasui.
Kazasui? So I was pronouncing it right? Maybe? Maybe. A meaning is not found. There's no one who's voted. Interesting. But anyways, now the book itself, The Denial of Death, this talks about the symbolic belief system and the immortality complex of the things people do to make, you know, to have accomplished things or pursue a religion that makes everything they do, their actions, live longer than they do. Sort of like a lasting memory on the world, so you can feel better about the factuality and reality that our immortality of being a human is very limited. Also, I gotta charge my headset. It's a very interesting book. It's not nihilistic, for those that are wondering, because it says The Denial of Death. Also, did I mess up my webcam? Yeah, it looks okay. Okay, but yeah. Perhaps the woman after whom the master shaped his beautiful Madonna is already wilted or dead, and soon he, too, will be dead. Others will live in his house and eat at his table, but his work will still be standing hundreds of years from now, and longer. Eh? It will go on shimmering in the quiet cloister church, unchangingly beautiful, forever smiling with the same sad, flowering mouth. Well, that is the thing. I mean, if you have an issue, or fear death and want to accomplish something before death, that is why being a person who creates change is relatively important in in the whole process of life and death. Because I don't think a lot of humans instinctively like the concept that you live and die. Like, the most miserable of human beings likely are those that, one, lived and died, never having children, never having created anything, never given birth to anything, never having made a difference in anyone else's life. And the last and probably most easiest is never helped anyone else but themselves. These are sort of 5 things, but there's going to be a few more. But these are the most basic things I can think on the top of my head that human beings seek to do that. And if you're just a person who's never done any of those things, you instinctively and subconsciously, unconsciously, and probably consciously will probably feel miserable. So a lot of people look to try to fulfill those gaps, almost in a way of fulfilling the gaps in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's just something people and humans in general look to do. Which is why you can at least consider me doing YouTube is just one of those fulfillments. Not of Maslow's, mind you, but the denial of death. If I were to die tomorrow, I left behind a small legacy, so to speak. It doesn't bug me and I don't consciously pursue it, but subconsciously, it is an accurate depiction of something left behind or a quote-unquote legacy. But, I don't much care. I mean, if we're talking about life and death... Also, where am I going? Life and death, to me, it's try your best to live a life with no regrets of anything. Let's see now. Book. Yep. I'm not exactly sure how the fridge is moving without a contraption underneath the fridge or behind the fridge. It just moves by magic. Because, you know, it's a heavy object. It's a heavy object. And if it was over here on the floor, there's nothing above it, there's nothing behind it, there's nothing underneath it that's moving it. So what's moving it? Space magic. This is like a fucking Roomba underneath it, and the Roomba just activates and turns it, or moves it or whatever. What's all these VHS tapes? Oh, wait. Do I want to be doing that? Maybe, I guess. Probably will solve some kind of puzzle. Or fuck something up. I probably wanted to push it the other fucking way. Huh? Wait, what? Wait, but wouldn't the bookshelf be that way? Am I missing something? Wait. I'm curious. Can I reset it? There has to be something behind it. Hang on. Let me see if the puzzle resets. Jeez, I thought the game had crashed. Don't scare me like that, please. Nope, okay, whatever. It looked weird. I don't think I did it right, but it didn't block progress of the story, so whatever. Because it would be something in here, but the camera didn't move prior to me moving it. Ah, Jesus. Sam, I tried calling, but your phone is disconnected, and I didn't know what else to do. Everyone is worried. Your boss called Mom and said you stopped showing up. I called Jane, but she said she's not talking to you anymore. I know I haven't always been there for you, but if you need anything, I want to help. What's going on with you? Is this about what happened? It was 10 years ago, Sam. It's not your fault. You can't hang on to this forever. I love you. Please call me. T. So, whatever caused the PTSD. It better not be like PTSD caused by some kind of like fucking Twitter drama. I swear to God. I saw something on Twitter and it triggered me. Someone called me out on a really shitty opinion I had. And all these people that hated me and mocked me, they treated me horribly because I had a Twitter opinion. I got PTSD from that. I can never move on. It was too horrible. Those mean Twitter people bullied me. I couldn't turn away. I ended up dying that day. It was just too abusive. Then I got PTSD. It's a true story. What? I'm gonna just like presume someone died and that caused PTSD. If they're trying to say it's not your fault, I don't know. Could be anything, honestly. Wait. Don't tell me it ends there.
Remember the first time you realized
What?
that one day you were going to die? Do you remember the way that fear went through you? Like electricity? The way it consumed your thoughts? The way it paralyzed you? Do you remember that day? Don't worry. I'll remind you.
To be continued. Oh, that's awkward. Also strange choice of font. Very strange choice of font, in my opinion. But, so this was just a demo? Let me check, hang on. Heartworm. The store page says, Sam receives a strange tape in the mail. Watching it brings her to a deeply unsettling place that feels strangely familiar. Heartworm is a game about memories we keep and the ones we wish we could forget. It marries cinematic fixed camera survival horror with low-res retro 3D graphics and a chilling original soundtrack. These features combine with an emotional, psychologically focused narrative to compose a nostalgia-charged love letter to late 90s genre progenitors such as Silent Hill, Resident Evil, and Dino Crisis. Honestly, it needs more horror. The game is a lot... I mean, at least this demo, because they didn't... Actually, wait, they just said Heartworm demo 0.5. It is atmospheric, and I do love the camera angles. The camera angles feel more modern than it would 90s-styled PlayStation games. Like, it was very... like, it followed you really nicely. It only, in Silent Hill, whenever they did that, was just sort of fixed camera angles in some scenes, but it's not the same as Silent Hill, and definitely not the same as Resident Evil camera angles, how it followed you, like when I went towards the front door. That was a very interesting, or at least just good use of camera angles, and it changing and being dynamic. It helped rather than, the camera, being blocked or looking at a wall. It was never in the way. It was well placed, basically. But there was no horror aspects, so one thing I would just suggest is more horror, more tension, because it had a lot more lore and a lot more narration and things to read, which is just foreshadowing the full game. But I mean, even based on, say, the tags is atmospheric horror, psychological horror, story rich, and survival horror. Demo wise, there is no survival horror. There is no psychological horror. It has story, it has atmosphere, it has good camera angles, but it's missing those two things that I absolutely personally love. If you can add in the full game where there's survival horror aspects, like, run from something, something's chasing you, something's haunting you, more tense atmospheres, or, shit's getting real sort of situation, because that's all what's lacking in this demo right now. So it's sort of, it's like when I say a balance in games usually is tension and action, and then a calm of exploration, and then after the calm is action again. You have to have that balance, calm, then action, then calm, then action, then calm, then action. And this, it was just permanent calm and permanent reading. There was no action, it was just a flat line of nothing changing. It's just exploration and reading. To really have a good game, especially demo, it needs to have a mixture to create balance and unity. Since it's missing, I get tired of reading because, it doesn't lead up to anywhere. It doesn't lead up to something tense where you're like, oh shit, like, oh god, that was exhilarating, and then back to reading. Instead of just reading, then more reading, then more reading, then more reading, followed by going somewhere else, solving a quick puzzle, and then more reading. But that's just my nitpick on balance and the importance of balance in a video game. It's just a demo, so of course it's not a final project, and the real game could be much, much, much better. But it's heading in the right direction, I can say. But outside of that, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, comment, hit the subscribe button, become a subscriber, hit the bell notification down below for updates on my videos. Thank you for watching. Until the next time.